Welcome to the Parsha Perspective. Each week, we will delve deep in a weekly Torah portion to find a practical and insightful way to enhance your daily life. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Shalom Yamini. Each week, we will look into the weekly Torah portion to find inspiration that will complement your daily life and intensify your connection to God. This month of the Parsha Perspective is being sponsored by Anonymous in honor of the Jewish people and the land of Israel. May Hashem protect our soldiers, and may the Jewish people only experience success, health, and prosperity. If you or someone you know would like to sponsor a month of the Parsha Perspective, please contact us at our Facebook page, The Parsha Perspective. This week's Torah portion is Parshas Bo. The Jewish people finally leave the land of Egypt with the last 3 plagues: locusts, extreme darkness, and the death of all firstborn. We get the commandment to slaughter a sheep and brush its blood on the doorpost to differentiate between the Jewish and Egyptian houses during the last plague. As Moshe and the Jewish nation were hurried out of Egypt, they collected all the flock, silver and gold from the Egyptians. However, they did not have enough time to prepare food for their journey. Nevertheless, the dough that they had ready was baking from the scorching heat of the sun and therefore producing matzah. God then gave the Jewish people several mitzvahs, some of which are the holiday of Pesach, the donning of tefillin, the bris of a newborn baby boy, and the establishment of the Jewish calendar based on the lunar cycle. The second to last plague, darkness, had 2 stages. First was complete and utter darkness. The second was a darkness so thick that it incapacitated the Egyptian people. Rashi gives 2 reasons for the stages, one of which is that the darkness gave the Jewish people cover to find treasures in the home of the Egyptians. However, the main reason is that God killed people within the Jewish nation who did not believe in leaving Egypt, but he did not want the Egyptian people seeing this and saying that they are punished the same way we are. However, a question instantly comes to mind. How is it possible that after over 200 years of slavery, persecution, and oppression, would anyone want to stay in that situation and not get their freedom? Furthermore, in the past 2 weeks' Parshas, we read many times of the Jewish nation not trusting Moshe and his message of freedom, telling him, "Let us suffer in peace and do not give us any hope." Why would some people, after years of abuse, not want to have any notions of freedom? There is a condition called Stockholm Syndrome, where a hostage develops a psychological alliance with his captor as a survival strategy, resulting in a bond between captor and captive. The Jewish people were enslaved for over 210 years, many of them being born after Yosef and the rest of his brothers passed away, and therefore only knew oppression and persecution. So when Moshe foretold their freedom, they did not listen because they have made peace with their situation. Paro had not only enslaved them physically, but rather spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. Using back-breaking labor, he took away their ability to process any notions of freedom, condemning them to a life of servitude. The Jewish people had Stockholm-like syndrome. They found comfort in being slaves to a foreign king, being persecuted just because of their identity, and therefore disapproved any action that would change their mindset or situation. In our daily life, we tend to find comfort in situations even though they are harmful to us. Like an addiction, we push away anyone who tries to help us find the way out, and therefore we stay cozy in our situation, which is filled with unhappiness, stress, and misery. However, just like most of the Jewish people, it is imperative to keep your mind and heart open to the possibility of growth, happiness, and achievement. Never sell yourself short on your talents and abilities that can propel you from your current circumstances to a life of fulfillment, satisfaction, both physically and spiritually, and then emotionally and mentally. There is an amazing quote by the famous Harriet Tubman: "I have freed 1,000 slaves. I could have freed 1,000 more, if only they knew they were slaves." Have a great weekend and a good Shabbos. Thank you for tuning in to the Parsha Perspective. Check out our website, theparshaperspective.com. Send thoughts and comments to theparshaperspective@gmail.com. Till next time, thanks for listening.